Well, joining us now is Harold Golden of Golden Violins in Philadelphia. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
You're welcome. Nice to be joining you.
Well, you are a luthier. Before we go forward, what is a luthier?
Well, a luthier is anybody who makes string instruments out of wood. They can be a guitar maker, it could be a violin maker, a bass maker. I mainly make violins and violas. I've done a little bit of cello, but not much. I always wanted to make a string bass, but it's way too much work. The string bass makers are the heroes of the violin making world.
And talk about, since you make stringed instruments, talk about what it was like before the pandemic hit and then what happened once this hit.
For me, it's kind of interesting. I finished 2 violins in January that were, to me, the best violins I've ever made. And we actually went to a very high-end place, some of my friends and my son, who played really much better than I do. And and he was nice enough there to let us play some over $100,000 old Italian violins. And we recorded my violins up against the over $100,000 Italians, and it was just as good.
Okay.
So I got to put that on my website. I have the audio. I got to put on. So that kind of excited me. Then I took. With this excitement, I started to show some very, very prominent players in the city my violins, and they were all very anxious to come in and play them. One violinist was going to make recordings for me in May, and of course, then the pandemic hit. So guess what? Everything that I had planned to promote my violins is just dead. Everything's on hold. All the good players who were going to come in and play them, nobody can come in. You know, it's really remarkable. There's a contest that's coming up that I wanted to enter, the Violin Makers Association of America, and that's in November. I don't know if they're going to do it. And here I have a violin that, I mean, the last time I just missed by one judge, and he admitted he made a mistake at the end of the thing because he played my violin, and he said, "Why didn't I choose your violin?" But this time I've got it, and now I don't know if we're going to have the contest.
So you're still in the process of, I guess you're still making instruments.
Yes. I'm starting another one. It's a slow process because the business is very slow. The fact that I finished 2, it took me a few years. It's not like I have one friend who manages to make maybe 8 or 10 a year because he has a good following of people in the Philadelphia Orchestra who get it to their students. So he's lucky. He's got that. I don't have that. So I make less violins. I'm making less violins than usual.
How long does it take to make a violin, roughly?
Well, you can, if you want to, if you really put your mind to it and you work constantly without a stop, you probably can put one together in 2-3 weeks. Mostly it would be a month to make it. But if you have other jobs like me, I have to repair, I have to teach, and I have to make a living. So it can take me, when I'm making it, it takes me at least 3 months. But the last 2 violins I made took me 3 years because there were times where I just put it aside and didn't do any work. And, you also have to be, you have to have some desire to do it, because it is hard work. And you really have to say, this is going to be great. And if one day you wake up and you go, oh, I don't know if it's going to be so good, then you don't have the enthusiasm to do it. But I worked it up. I got the enthusiasm, and I have 2 of the best violins I've ever heard. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just got to get people interested in it.
Do you see us getting beyond this pandemic?
Well, of course, we always do. The problem is, how long is it going to take? I'm waiting for that darn vaccine. I mean, I do have children's orchestras that I conduct. And we can't do it until there's a vaccine. We can't get 60 or 70 kids together to play. So it's a little depressing. I have been doing some Zoom orchestra classes, which are very difficult. And I said goodbye to my 8th graders yesterday. I actually cried because I'm going to miss them. And our concert was tomorrow night.
Ah,
And we had a nice show. Let me tell you, it was a really nice show. But there's no concert. It's very, very sad. It's
well, as you said, we will get to be honest at some point. It's just a matter of when.
yeah, just a matter of when. We're going to get through it. I mean, they're working on the vaccine. We'll get that vaccine. And I mean, you know, I'm just worried about school in September, how they're going to proceed. They've been coming to me with all these different ideas of like starting staggered classes, having, believe it or not, having each class have its own entrance to the school and separate, and nobody gets together. I said, oh man, it sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
A nightmare. But it's not violin making. You can still sit in your shop and make.
Right. Right. Okay, Harold Golden of Golden Violins, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure always, and good luck, and take care of yourself. All right. Let's get together again soon.
We'll do that. We'll do
All
that.
right. Bye bye.